Emma was used to exhaustion. At 29, she was already carrying the weight of a lifetime. A single mother to a 5-year-old boy named Leo, she worked double shifts at a small roadside diner just to keep the lights on. Every morning started before sunrise, packing Leo's lunch, kissing his sleepy forehead, and dropping him at a neighbor's house before rushing to work. The diner smelled of burnt coffee and fried eggs, and her feet ached constantly, but she never complained. Tips were her lifeline. Some days were good, most were not. That particular evening, the diner was unusually busy. Rain hammered against the windows, and customers trickled in, soaked and irritable. Emma forced a smile for each one, even when her back screamed in pain. Rent was overdue. Leo needed new shoes. Her phone bill warning blinked in her pocket like a silent threat. She whispered small prayers between orders, hoping tonight would be different. Then the door opened, and everything seemed to pause. A man in an impeccably tailored suit stepped inside. His watch gleamed under the dim diner lights, and his presence carried quiet authority. Other customers stared. Emma didn't recognize him, but something about him screamed wealth. She grabbed a menu, straightened her apron, and approached his booth with the same kindness she gave everyone else, because kindness was all she had left to give. She had no idea that this man, and this single table, would change her life forever. From the start, the man was distant. Polite, but cold. He ordered the most expensive items on the menu, asked detailed questions, and corrected Emma twice over minor details. Still, she remained calm, apologizing even when she wasn't wrong. She refilled his coffee without being asked, brought extra napkins, and made sure his steak was cooked perfectly. She treated him like she treated every customer, with dignity. As the meal went on, Emma noticed him watching her, not in a creepy way, but observant, almost analytical. She wondered if she'd done something wrong. When he finished eating, he asked for the check without looking at her. She placed it on the table, wished him a good evening, and walked away. A few minutes later, he stood up and left. Emma rushed over, her heart pounding, not with greed, but with necessity. The bill was paid in full. But the tip line read $0. Her throat tightened. She stared at the receipt, feeling humiliation wash over her. She replayed every moment in her head. Had she spilled something? Forgotten a refill? Tears burned her eyes, but she swallowed them back. She couldn't afford to cry, not here, not now. She folded the receipt, slipped it into her apron, and forced herself back to work. But something made her return to the table. Maybe habit. Maybe instinct. As she reached to clear the plate, her fingers brushed against something taped underneath. Her breath caught. Emma carefully removed the plate and froze. Taped underneath was a folded piece of thick paper. Her hands trembled as she peeled it off. Around her, the diner noise faded, the clinking dishes, the murmured conversations, all disappeared. She unfolded the note. It wasn't money. It was a handwritten message. Sometimes the biggest tests come disguised as disappointments. Thank you for your patience, dignity, and kindness when you thought no one was watching. Her eyes widened. Confusion mixed with emotion. She turned the note over. Attached to it was a check, not for hundreds, but for $50,000. Emma gasped, clapping a hand over her mouth. Her knees buckled, and she had to grip the table to stay upright. This couldn't be real. She checked the name on the check and recognized it instantly. He was a billionaire philanthropist whose story she had once seen on the news. Known for anonymous generosity. Known for testing people quietly. On the back of the note was a second message. This is not a tip. This is an investment, in you. Tears streamed down her face as years of fear, stress, and silent suffering poured out. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to cry, not from pain, but from hope. Her manager rushed over, alarmed, but Emma could barely speak. She clutched the note like it might disappear if she let go. That night, everything she believed about her future changed. Days later, Emma received a call from a private foundation. The billionaire had requested a meeting. Nervous and unsure, she nearly declined, until she remembered the words on the note. At the meeting, the truth came out. The billionaire explained that he had grown up poor, raised by a single mother who worked as a waitress. He remembered watching people treat her like she was invisible. He remembered nights she came home crying over rude customers and zero tips. When she passed away, he promised himself that if he ever succeeded, he would honor women like her. He told Emma he regularly visited diners and small restaurants, not to judge service, but to observe character under pressure. He intentionally left no tip to see how people reacted after disappointment. Anger, insults, or entitlement disqualified them instantly. Emma had passed, not because she was perfect, but because she remained kind even when she felt unseen. This wasn't charity, he said gently. This was recognition. He also revealed that the money was only the beginning. His foundation would pay for Emma's education if she wanted it, help with childcare, and even assist her in starting a small business, if she dreamed of one. Emma realized then that the real gift wasn't the money. It was being seen. The $50,000 erased Emma's immediate fears. Rent was paid. Debts were cleared. Leo got new shoes, and a bedroom painted in his favorite color. But Emma didn't stop there. With guidance from the foundation, she enrolled in business and hospitality courses. She learned things she never imagined she could understand. Numbers stopped scaring her. Confidence slowly replaced survival mode. 2 years later, Emma opened a small cafe of her own, named Under the Plate. The walls told stories of kindness. Every employee received fair wages, flexible hours, and respect. Single parents were given priority hiring. And every month, one struggling customer's meal was quietly paid for, no questions asked. Emma never forgot where she came from. She framed the handwritten note and hung it behind the counter, not to show off, but to remind herself and others that dignity matters, even when no reward seems visible. Customers often asked about it. She would smile and say, "It reminds me to be kind, even on the hardest days." Years later, Emma and Leo sat in the cafe after closing. Leo, now older, asked her why she always treated everyone so kindly, even rude customers. Emma looked around the cafe, then at her son. "Because," she said softly, "you never know who's watching. And more importantly, you never know who's hurting." She taught Leo that kindness is not weakness, patience is not foolishness, and dignity is priceless, even when the world seems unfair. The billionaire never returned, never asked for credit, and never took ownership of her success. He didn't need to. That night at the diner proved a timeless truth. Sometimes, life tests you before it blesses you. And sometimes, the smallest moment of grace opens the biggest door. And all of it started with a $0 tip, and something hidden underneath a plate.